So the TREK MARLIN 6 actually has some changes. I can't believe it. It's kind of wild to see it. It's very minor. Let's not get super freaked out by it. But let's go over what we're looking at for the 2025 TREK MARLIN 6. This one was a personal favorite of mine. I have owned one before. I had the Gen 2. I have to double check. I had the Gen 2 Marlin 6, so this one is still currently available and is on for a really good price point right now. Most retailers have big sales on for this one, as it is definitely on the way out. The Gen 3 has came out with a new Gen 3, just to be super confusing. So there's a Gen 2, a Gen 3, and a Gen 3. They're pretending that the model years don't exist, but we all know 2026, they're going to wean it out. They're going to do an all new 2026. It's going to be a big, trust me, it's going to be something. So with the Gen 2 TREK MARLIN 6, what we're getting is a 1x10 drivetrain from Shimano. It works well, fantastic. Honestly, for commuting and for even everyday mountain biking, it's got a wide range to it. It works and shifts, honestly, super fast and super efficiently, and I'm happy with it. Has a lockout front fork, 30mm stanchions, it's a Suntour, it works well. Nothing super upgraded from the Marlin 5 series, but it works. There's nothing really wrong with it. Comfy position, I did upgrade the seat, and otherwise, it's a great little bike. That's about all the features of the Gen 2. Now this one at the current sale price is a smoking deal. There's going to be very limited sizes left, so I definitely check it out. When you move on to the 2024 Gen 3, this one relatively stays the same features and functions as the Gen 2. What they upgraded from the Gen 2 to the Gen 3, minor little things which do add up if you're mountain biking. So they went from a cheaper rim to the Covey rim. This is a true mountain bike rim, so it's stronger, lighter weight, and the big benefit is it will actually hold a wider tire. So generally, the Gen 2 had a 2.2 or 2.3 tire. This one has a 2.4 on front and rear for the most part. Can't guarantee it, there's still a few mixes up there, but it's 2.4 is a bigger, wider tire. Better for off-road use, comfier for on-road, but it will be a little slower. And they go to the XT3 tire instead of the XR3. And that is just adding a little more bite to the side of it, which honestly I did like the way it looked. As a cross-country tire, I would 100% choose the XT3 over the XR every day, just on the looks, on how much better it's going to be off-road. It will function significantly better off-road, and on-road it still has that hard, compact center line point, so you're going to roll really efficiently without having a huge amount of upset or slowdown or wear from your tire. So one thing that has not been changed is the shifting set between the current Gen 3 and the new Gen 3. They've changed, but from the current or old Gen 3 to the old Gen 2, it's honestly frustrating talking about these bikes. You have the exact same Shimano Dior 10-speed, fantastic, absolutely fantastic, shifts great. When you go to the Q's system with the newest Gen 3, the 2025 or late 2024 or mid 2024, who knows. Gen 3 new goes from Shimano Dior to Shimano Q's. Q's is a little more of a compatible family as itself. Dior, though, I always interpreted as slightly higher end. It's hard to tell. The Q's is so new, it shifts well, it works well. I assume it's as good as Dior. It just is the lower end family of bikes parts. Big benefit, and it's not huge, but big benefit if you are looking at the newest Gen 3 Marlin 6 is it goes to a RockShox Judy front fork. This one will perform significantly better in rougher terrain. Around town, I think either option between the Gen 2 or the old Gen 3, this is the worst naming system ever. I know they tried something, but why wouldn't you have called the newest one the Gen 4? So you got the Gen 2. Great sale price right now. Great sale price. Great part spec. Works. I went trail riding with it, cross country, gravel riding. It worked fantastic. Gen 3. Little to no change. Minor upgrade in off-road capabilities with the tires and the rims, but it was very minimal. Gen 3 2.0, you now get a better front fork. You go to the Shimano Q's system, they all have hydraulic disc brakes, so they're all fantastic in that way. It's hard to say if Q's is a real upgrade from Dio. In the families of things, there is definitely some weird blurred lines now. So I think you're getting as good, but you are getting better from fork, and you also have the better tires, which the old Gen 3 already had, but the new Gen 3 continues with. Overall, slightly better for the off-road. I know. I don't make these bikes. I don't make these names. Gen 2, great deal, great bike. I liked it a lot, personally. Fantastic bike. Gravel riding, light trails. It flew. I did fantastic with it. I would upgrade the seat again. The middle Gen 3, that one, will just be slightly better for off-road, but not majorly. Honestly, very minor, allowing you to make it a little more beefy for off-road, but again, pretty minor. The newest Gen 3, you will notice a difference between Gen 2 and Gen 3. Finally, it is actually a worthwhile change, and I'd potentially skip the middle Gen 3. You get a great sale price on the oldest Gen 2, a sale price on the Gen 3 version 1, and the price you're paying for the Gen 3 version 2 is going to be just a noticeable difference between the first two. That's all I'm saying. I didn't make the names. I'm sorry. Both very quick videos. All of the Gen 3 systems have the new through skew as well. Honestly, it's the exact same diameter of axle. It just through skews on, so it should be more secure, add a bit more stiffness to it. It's going to be pretty minor. Unless you forgot to tighten your skewer, you shouldn't notice too much difference. I'd honestly be surprised if you did. If you're hitting your bike that hard downhill, you probably needed a better bike anyway. The TREK Marlin 6 is still for the commuter who wants to go the distance but wants a nicer shifting set compared to the Marlin 5. It's going to shift better on all versions of it. The Marlin 6, though, will perform in every version better off-road. The Marlin 6.0 will perform better off-road, specifically with the Gen 3 versions. The Gen 2 compared to the Gen 3 Marlin 5 is going to be a bit of a blurry line there. That's why that one's kind of getting shoved off to the side. The Gen 3s are significantly better off-road. And when I say significantly, it's not actually huge, but it is noticeable. I think even the most amateur rider would ride the Marlin 5 and then ride the Marlin 6 in any version, go, I know what's the better bike. What's better for me is always a personal choice.